today's world. Today, the world has changed dramatically, but we're still using this style of education. Most teachers worldwide use the lecture method. 80% of the teachers lecture to the class full-time. So the question is, how well do you learn when you sit there in class, take lecture notes, and then take a test on Friday? Is that the way you really learn? This is learning also reinforced by worksheets. So today, some of the worksheets are online, but they're still worksheets. So I think that we need to change the way education is happening. And my story, since I'm supposed to tell a story, my story is how I changed education at Palo Alto High School. So there are new ways to learn. I'm sure you all know about the iPad. You can give students computers, tablet computers. They can learn independently. They don't have to come to class and listen to me, the sage on the stage. I am no longer the sage on the stage in my class. In fact, I am simply a coach. So there are a lot of pressures in the world today to change education, and it would be great if those pressures were really effective. So you can see in 1900, the main demand was for low-skill jobs. Today, the main demand is for knowledge jobs, jobs where people think. We need people that think. And can they really think if they go to school in the lecture method, lecture mode? So there are a lot of ways that teachers can empower students without having to lecture to them. And one of the ways is to let them do some research discovery online. So for example, this is Open Culture. I don't know if any of you have seen it before. They have 400 free online courses from top universities. Open and free, anybody can use them. There are lecture notes, video, there's tests even if you want to test yourself. There's audio books. There are all kinds of resources. The Khan Academy, by the way, you're going to hear from Saul Khan on Saturday. He has some amazing videos, 2,600 videos online teaching everything from math to, now he has art. It's math, science, and art. And there's even more. So Khan Academy is trying at the moment to help teachers. So they help teachers by having a way to analyze the data. So the student in class, they watch the video till they master it. Then when they're done watching the video, they take a test, and then the teacher can see, have they mastered that or haven't they mastered it? So here's data that helps teachers see. So you can see one student there hasn't mastered it. The one in the red, the one with blue, they're in the process, and the ones with green have done it. You know what else this does? It creates collaborative learning. Kids teach each other. Kids help each other. So there are thousands of educational videos on YouTube. I don't know how many of you know about that, but they're everywhere. Then in addition, there are open educational resources. I'm giving you a lot of resources here right now. Hopefully it's not confusing everyone. But MIT, the university, they were the pioneer. They put all their courses online about 4 years ago, 4 or 5 years ago. So you can go and get all the same courses anybody going to MIT gets for free. They also have now many other universities, including UC Berkeley or Berkeley. There's some courses from Yale as well. So the new role for the teacher today is that of a facilitator or a coach. I help my students find resources online. I help my students with videos that will help them. So I am a journalism teacher at Palo Alto High School. Now you'll hear more about that in a minute. So students can learn anything, anywhere, anytime. And for example, they can also use these smartphones to input as input devices. So I have a student who actually wrote an entire essay on her smartphone. was hard to believe. And the only way I found out was because she made some spelling mistakes, and then I asked her, well, why did you do that? And she said she typed the whole thing on her phone. So here's the interactive web. Everybody can contribute, bloggers, you can comment on other people's blogs. There's a lot of opportunity for students to be involved. 10 years ago, when students were trying to get information, I used to have to send them to the library, get a book, wait in line if somebody else already had the book, check it out, you know, go through the card catalog. Today, we all have information at our fingertips. Google, Yahoo, Bing, it's there. Everybody's using YouTube. It's amazing. The world has changed dramatically. We need to take advantage of all these resources. So here's how I do it. This is Palo Alto High School. When I first came, there were 20 students in the program, 1984. It was a typical journalism program. Today we have 550 students taking journalism. So can you imagine electing to take a writing class? So the question is like, what are they doing and why are they doing it? And what kind of work do they produce? Well, here's an example of the newspaper that comes out every 2 to 3 weeks. They do the paper. It's not my paper, it's their paper. They do everything from the graphic, layout, design, writing. In fact, they also do the entire budget. They sell ads, raise money, collect bills, they learn a lot. So they learn more than they would ever learn if I stood there and lectured to them. Here's another issue of the Campanile, that's the name of the paper. Here is, this is the second section, so there's 2 sections. The paper is 28 pages long, 2 14-page sections, and they do the design. I don't do the design. They come up with the design. I do teach how to use, I get them started, let's put it that way, and then after that, they teach me. This is the back of the front section of the paper, so you can see that the quality is really high. So the question is, oh, here's another one. So the part of the program includes several magazines, a sports magazine named Viking, a news magazine named Verde. And as you can see, the students come up with their own topics. I don't tell them what to write about. And as you can see, like at the top there, on one side, sex and the student, I certainly did not pick that topic. And I didn't pick the topic of hazing, or I didn't pick the Animal House, parties. I didn't pick any of these topics. So this is a spotlight page that the kids put together. They ran a photo contest for the school. This is the Viking magazine. This is the sports magazine. This is, they decided they weren't getting their sports scores out fast enough, so they set up a website. I didn't set the website up. I helped, and the teacher that's in charge helped set the website up as well. So there's 5 additional journalism teachers. And this is the largest journalism program in the United States now. We have a website. It's called Voice, and all the publications can be found on that website. So how do we get kids excited about writing and learning like that? Number one thing, it's project-based. So as I mentioned, I am the coach. I am the guide on the side. I don't lecture every day. As a matter of fact, you will see some. Here's an example of what my class looks like. Just compare that to the class you first saw. So that's one of the editors talking to the class. By the way, there's 75 kids in that class. Me and 75 kids. So how do I do it? I do it because I use the resources online, and it's all collaborative. They work together in teams. I respect them, I respect their intelligence, and I have the highest standards for them, and they don't get it, I help them until they understand whatever it is they need to. It's collaborative, as I mentioned before. I honor their First Amendment rights, the right to write about whatever it is they want to write about. They work in groups, and by the way, groups are the key. In case you don't know, I'm sure that most of you like going to school because you went to school with your friends. Well, that's what groups are. They get to work together with their friends, and that's much more exciting than just listening to some lecture. I build their leadership skills on a regular basis. They're in charge of the program. This is the broadcast journalism program. They reflect on their performance on a regular basis. They search. I teach them how to search intelligently so they can find things that they need online. They learn new things every day. It's really exciting. They manage their own learning with guidelines from me. I encourage their creativity. This is an example of their creativity. I celebrate their creativity on a regular basis. So my theory is very similar to what Steve Jobs expressed in his commencement speech at Stanford. Stay hungry, stay foolish. Teach them not to fear failure. Give them the opportunity to be foolish. Encourage their imagination. I see life as a series of not as a series of multiple choice tests. I see it as practice. Let them practice for life. Let them practice in school for life. Don't lecture on a regular basis. Let the teacher be a coach and the guide on the side. Thank you.